Yo, well, it's one who was popping. Peace, peace, blessings, blessings. No matter what you went through yesterday, no matter what you went through when you woke up this morning, to still be here and go through anything at all is a blessing. At least that's my mindset. But more importantly, man, I'm not going to drag this out. I'm not going to try to make this no huge live or anything like that. Did y'all know that this was Mental Health Awareness Month? I swear I did not know that. And the reason I point that out is because for the past 2 days, it's been something that's kind of like been tapping me on my shoulder saying, yo, really speak about this. This is something you've actually experienced, but you were able to overcome it at one point in your life, right? And I even put up a post and I asked people, is mental and emotional health issues, does everyone go through that or is it just some of us? I used to think that it was just a specific few of people that went through that. But at the end of the day, we're all human, right? So who hasn't had their experiences with it? Some people were able to shake it off. It's something that would just come out of the blue, and all of a sudden their mind just goes into this space where it's like, okay, I'm feeling this way, but I was able to shake it off and I can get back to what I was doing. But for some people, it goes a little bit more deeper than that. It gets a little bit darker. For me, at one point in my life, oh, it was dark. It was dark. So basically, in honor of Mental Health Awareness Month, I feel like this is the best time for me to even speak on this. I promise you, I did not know it was Mental Health Awareness Month. I don't know if that's just a big coincidence or if that's just the energy of the universe speaking to me, fam. Right? But before I even go any further, let me take a peep into the comments. Frankie Blanco, what's up, man? What's up, man? Appreciate you. You already. Good brother, good brother. Brother Dome, you already know. You already know. Appreciate y'all, man. I'm not gonna make this a long one. This is just me, just speaking my own experience. A lot of people keep this type of thing to themselves because you know how the internet is today. People will take the worst about you, even if you put it out there yourself, and try to make it into content or use it against you. But I look at it like this: if it's something that you overcame and you stand on it and it made you a better person, how can anybody tell you a damn thing about it? You understand? I'm a very private person. I don't speak on these type of things with anybody. Even people in my personal life, people that I've known all my life don't even know certain things about me. So when it comes to the internet, I damn sure don't just tell people anything pertaining to what I went through. But that's just it. You never know what a person is going through. You never know. Huh? Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you. Definitely, 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 definitely. So, like I say, man, you never know what a person is going through. Just because a person is smiling and laughing, that doesn't mean anything. People always say to me, how come you're not smiling? People assume that because of my demeanor that I'm like this angry, upset person, right? And I be trying to tell them, no, I'm fine. I'm happy. I just don't walk around smiling and showing all my damn teeth. You know what I'm saying? Everybody expresses themselves different. You know what I mean? But you can never judge a book by the cover. It's cliche, it's corny, and as long as that saying has been around, that's the fact of it. But you never actually know what a person. You could walk past somebody down the street, walk past somebody you ain't never met a day in your life. You know what I'm saying? They're full of life. You know what I'm saying? They're spreading positivity to everybody else. How's your day, sister? How's your day, brother? You get nothing but positive vibes from that person. But when that person go home at night, you don't know what that person got going on. You don't know what's the real in their life, fam. You don't know. You don't know what a person's story is. And only some of us, will actually tell it. People keep things to themselves, but for good reason, because especially with black people, we don't tell too much of our personal business. Didi, appreciate you. Appreciate you. We don't tell too much of our personal business. You know what I mean? Even with family and friends, we all be having shit going on with us, and we don't let the next person know. You know, they always say, check on your peeps, check on your peeps. You can try to all you want, but unless a person is willing to speak about what they really got going on, you understand? People don't want to feel embarrassed. They don't want to feel judged. They don't want to feel criticized. We got to cut that out. We got to cut that out. The fact that people even feel like if we come to them and tell them about something we had going on with us, we're thinking we're going to get criticized out the gate about it. That's a shame. You understand? It's a shame. Because like I say, for some, when you talk emotional health issues, for some people, it's like it's a every once in a while thing. It comes and it goes, right? Maybe in the middle of the day, everything was fine. Boom, all of a sudden their mind just drifts off into a dark spot. But they're able to shake it off and get right back to what they were doing. You understand? For some people, it just goes a little bit deeper. For me, in my teenage years, it got dark. You know, I think I probably like touched on it barely with certain people, but I never actually told exactly what it was that I actually had dealt with. Huh? What did Brother Dome say? I have my down days. I stay to myself when I'm going through it. Yeah, you know, that's how most people deal with it, Dome. You know, people don't feel like, you know, when you get in that zone, you don't want to talk to nobody. You don't want to, you know, everybody got their own way of dealing with it. Some people feel like I'm gonna stay to myself, I'm gonna cope with it, I'm gonna be all right. Ain't no need for me to, you understand? Because a lot of us is like, yo, I don't want no pity party. You know, that's me. I don't want nobody, you know, and going forward with this. You know, I'm put out there right now. That's not what I'm looking for by me getting ready to tell what I'm about to tell. That's the last thing realists want, because I can skip to the end of the story and tell you out the gate I overcame what I went through. That's not the point of it. You know, I'm talking about at one point in my life, it was bad. It was dark. Card, appreciate you. Appreciate you. Definitely. What did Dome say? I think the first time I got arrested around 9 or 10, my mental was changing. You know what? It's funny you mentioned, you know, those ages, because I think around those certain ages, from that point up into your teenage years, it's like that's when life, you know, you start to like look at life differently. Life can affect you differently. And ironically, like that's where the base of my story comes from in my teenage years. I want to say I was 16, 17 years old. And where it started was I remember I was going to school and my mother, right? She wanted me to get myself right in school, fam. So she made the decision. The school didn't hold me back. My mother made the decision to keep me back a grade. So here it is. I'm one of the biggest in my class, by the way, right? Bigger than all these other kids. I get held back due to my mother's orders. And these, you know, and my other friends and associates, they go on to the next grade. But see, you had the seventh grade floor and you had the eighth grade floor. So I would still run into them every day. And you know, kids, they don't think about their jokes and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you cool with them, if you're friends or whatever the case is. Hold on, y'all. All right, my apologies, my apologies. I'm back, I'm back. Back, right back into it. Boom. So here was my mother had held me back. She made a decision to hold me back, right? Now you got the top floor, bottom floor, boom. All my friends who had made it to the eighth grade, I was still run into them every day. How could you not? We're going to the same school, right? They would make jokes. They would make jokes. They would. I guess they was being harmless, right? As kids, how they say kids can be cruel, but they don't really understand the jokes, the things that they're saying. It was kind of like that because I'm like, I'm taking it serious. I'm like, are y'all playing with me or what? You know what I'm saying? Because it really affected me. Because I'm like, I want to go on to the eighth grade with the people I came into. You know what I mean? It was like that. So it affected my psyche. You understand? But even then, I don't even think that's where the base of like what I started to deal with. I think that just kind of like opened the door for it. But then, as that next year went on, hold on. My bad, y'all. That's why I'm trying to make this quick because I got phones going off the hook and shit. Appreciate you, Nexi. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Shout out to everybody in the bushes and all of that. But that's where it started for me when I just started to like kind of like look at life like a little bit different. Cause I'm like, all it takes is one important decision in your life to be made. Cause at that time I felt like that was an important decision that I didn't have any control over. It was my mother's call. Boom. She wanted me to get better in school. So she decided, you know what? I'm gonna make his ass sit back and grade so he'll get it right because I want you to really get an education and not just slide through school. You know what I'm saying? She had the bet. She obviously was looking out for me, but as a kid, you don't look at it like that. You understand? That's usually how that works out. But shout out to moms because I understand looking back on it what she was trying to do, right? But what that did was the embarrassment started to play a factor. Because here it is, I'm going to school every day with these dudes who, was my peoples and all of that. And every time they see me, they would make jokes. So it's like I started to feel embarrassed even going to school. You know what I'm saying? But ultimately, like, life goes on, right? And I don't know. From that point going forward, it's just like I started to like my perspective of life just was different. I don't know what it maybe it was the hormones and all of that. When you're a teenager, you change. You understand? You start to look at things differently. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a major, in psychology or anything like that. But when you're growing as a young woman or a young man, you just start to look at things different. And your experience, in life, it's like, it's just I can't put the words together to explain it to you, but everybody in here right now, I'm pretty sure you understand what I'm trying to say. Who just came in the chat? Miss T, appreciate you. Scorpio Mama, appreciate you. Anybody in the bushes, appreciate you. You know what I mean? I'm trying not to draw this out all day, but it's like I didn't know what hit me at one point. I just started to feel so down. I just started to feel so like out of whack mentally and emotionally. It's like I couldn't control myself. It's like this feeling that I didn't at the time I didn't know it was even called depression because I had never dealt with anything like that before. Right? Now, like I said, the school thing that opened the doors for these type of emotions, but then it just became way more serious than that, and it ended up it had nothing to do with that at all. Just growing pains in general as a teenager. You understand? And I didn't understand it, man. I just started being the type of kid that didn't want to be around nobody. I didn't, like I didn't want to hang out with nobody. I just wanted to stay in my room, stay to myself. Didn't want to talk to nobody, right? It got so bad to where it was like it was visible. Anybody who was around me, it was like, yo, what's up with Realest, man? Like, what's going on with him? And even my own mother, she had her questions, but I couldn't even explain it to her because I didn't know what to say. I'm feeling away, but I don't even know how to break it down to you how I'm feeling. All I know is there's something off here. There's something that's just not right. I can't put the words on it, right? And like I say, I never spoke on this too much before, but I had no problem speaking on this because it was just a phase. It was a time in my life. I started having these thoughts. They got so bad for me, fam. I felt like I didn't even want to be here anymore. That's how dark it was. I started thinking like, what's the point of really even like breathing? Like I started having those type of thoughts, man. And I started doing things that were kind of like it's like I knew what I was doing, but it's like I knew what I was doing. I was purposely crying out for attention. You know what I'm saying? Because usually when a person is crying out for attention, it's like maybe they don't know what they're doing, but they know that they're just like, they're just like, it's like they're acting out, but maybe they don't necessarily know it. Right. But it's like I knew what I was doing. It's like I was asking for attention. It was asking for somebody to notice, like, yo, take a look at what I'm going through. Right. Next thing I know, these dark thoughts started coming into my mind, fam. And before I go any further, YouTube, because I know YouTube, they love to trip out over these sensitive subjects, right? This is just a story. That's all this is, man. Right? I wouldn't be surprised if they take this down, but it's all love. You know what I'm saying? As long as I get it out there, it's all good. I don't care. Do what y'all want to do. Boom. Angel, appreciate you. Appreciate you. Anybody else that I might have missed, appreciate you. But what ended up happening, I started to like really like test my mind a little bit because I really felt uncomfortable. Like the thought of not being on this earth was like deeper into my mind every day. I'm like, what's the point? There's not a day that went by where I didn't have that thought at least twice a day. At least, I'm not even gonna say twice, at least once a day. You know what I'm saying? Like that dark feeling that I couldn't explain, that I didn't even know as depression. It started to creep up on me more and more. Right. So I ended up like one day I went and I put it to you like this. I started to like indulge in self-harm a little bit, right? And I had a knife that I would sleep with. I would put the knife under my pillow, right? And I wouldn't use it to like actually like try to make myself bleed or anything, but I would do it just like, just to leave a mark on myself, just so I could, I don't know, looking back on it, I don't know, maybe that was my way of putting those marks there purposely so I can go out into the world and say, yo, look at what I'm going through. You see this? Like, take a look at this. This shit's crazy. Like, I can't even explain to y'all what I'm dealing with right now. Right? I slept with that knife under my pillow, man. My mind was in such a dark spot. And it's like, and it was like, okay, I'm too soft to actually take myself out this way. So I'm like, okay, let me try it another way. It was this one specific night where I went and I had got these pills, allergy pills that they help you sleep and all of that. And I remember I was thinking, if I can take all of these, it is what it is. I was putting myself to the test to see how far I was really willing to go because that feeling of not wanting to be alive, it was just deeper on my brain, fam. Right? So I remember I had took a couple of these things and they started to work kind of fast. I had forgot how fast these things really started to work, and I was just drowsy as hell. I was tired. By the time by these things, he hit me so fast. It's like I only had taken like two or three, had a whole box. I'm like, I can't take no more of these damn things. And I was just laying on the floor. This is one specific night, right? For anybody that's coming in just now listening, this is the story of when I was a teenager. All right. Long, long time ago. So it took for me to put these marks on myself for people to notice, okay, something is definitely wrong here. And there was a panic about it. Obviously, if your family sees that you did something like that, of course they're going to panic. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to see their loved ones going through that. So what came after that was, okay, you need to speak to somebody. You need to speak to a counselor. You need to speak to a therapist. Something I would have never thought I would ever have to do in my life, man. But I feel like that might have been what saved me. I even remember the lady's name to this day. Ann Fiato. I remember that lady name like nothing. Right? I had to give it some thought at first, but I felt like, what could I lose from it? What could I lose from speaking to this lady? You know, I was nervous. I'm like, what am I gonna say to this lady, man? What am I gonna say? I've been feeling bad, so I started, like harming myself. This is one of the reasons why a lot of people don't speak on what they're going through, because when you ask somebody what's wrong, what made you do that, it's like, what do you say? I was feeling down one day and I started to do this, I started to do that, right? It sounds crazy when you just put it out there like that, right? Only somebody who's really willing to understand what you're talking about, you know, it's like you're careful about who you mention that type of shit around, man, right? So I started speaking to this lady, and she was a cool lady. I mean, the job is to be as calming as possible, to understand you. She would tell me that she talked to all types of kids who go through, similar issues and things like that. I had seen this lady for, I want to say, about a year. For about a year, I think it was. And I remember I always look back on it like, did me going to see this woman, did it really help me? I can't tell you for sure, right? I felt like it helped me kind of like look at things from a different perspective at that time. Or maybe it was just the growing pains that I was going through. Maybe it was just, hormones and all this other stuff, right? I feel like it was just a phase in my life. I feel like it was just a phase that I went through. I have never ever, right, after that, have ever felt that bad in my life. That was a phase that I had went through. There might have been, let's say, if I can go to my early 20s, there might have been a few other times where I felt like really, real fucked up, right? But that was the only time that I actually had like took on self harm. That only happened in my teenage years, right? And just to harp on the whole people never know what you're going through. I remember that I was with a couple of cousins of mine, like years after that, because those marks, they stayed on me for some years. They eventually went away, but they stayed on me for some years, right? And he just happened to look at my arm, and he just like he damn near got into a panic. He like, are you serious? Like, for real? Like, he couldn't believe it. You know what I'm saying? Because the type of person I am around people, same, like if y'all listen to me, how do I come off to y'all? Come off like a, laid back, cool, calm, collected, happy person, like, like happy go lucky, or however you say it, right? You would never really guess that type of thing. You would probably never guess that I went through that type of thing. That was his reaction. And I didn't really have no words for it. I'm like, what you want me to say? It was a dark time of my life, man. It was just I was in bad shape. You understand? There's really no explanation to it. It was just, once you get in that dark spot, it can take your mind to other places. Some people can bounce back from it a little bit better, but for some people, you get worse before you get any better, and some people don't come back from it at all, man. Like, God bless and RIP anybody who has ever taken their life from this or lost anybody from this, because it's not a joke. Sometimes all it could take to turn somebody's day around, maybe all it takes is a hello, how you doing? Maybe all it takes is a hug or a handshake, a simple conversation with a complete stranger. When you see somebody sitting by themselves, um, you know, on a bench at the bus stop, or in a mall somewhere. You see somebody just sitting there and they look like they're down, which we see all the time. You know what I mean? We see people who are just, it look like they're going through it. You know what I'm saying? You never know exactly what it is in their life that's going on that just gives off that vibe. Okay, this person is going through something, and you don't want to be somebody and say, "What's going on with you, man? How you doing? Let me talk to you for a minute." You don't want to get in people business like that. But all I'm saying is, you never know. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes just extending an arm and letting somebody know, listen, you're not alone. I can visibly see there's something going on with you without getting too specific, without you even getting too, you know, just understand you're not alone. And I feel like that's the most important thing to take away from this. We're all human. Some people's situations are worse than others, but at the end of the day, we all experience mental and emotional health issues, man. Brother Keith, what's going on, man? Appreciate you, appreciate you, appreciate you. Yeah, I, I guess that's what it was, Miss T. I guess that's what it was. I appreciate you saying that. I appreciate you saying that. But the most important thing, like I say, man, people go through things every day, right? But people don't want to speak about these type of things, especially in the black community. You realize how fucked up it really is with black folks, man. We keep these things to ourselves because we don't want to be ridiculed. We don't want people to talk about it because there are people who will take your worst moments, take your worst experiences, and they will make fun of you. They will throw it in your face. There are people you can't tell this type of stuff to because they'll make you feel worse than the experience felt. The fact that you told them that. You understand? I feel like it's something that black folks got to work on because we be going through more than anybody in the world. Shit, when it come down to it. So imagine the things we deal with just going out into the general world, and then what we got going on in our individual life. Not to make excuses, not saying that no other ethnicity goes through anything. That's not what I'm saying. If you understand what I'm saying, you understand it, right? If you don't understand it the way I'm kicking it, then you ain't gonna understand it. That's just what that, you understand? Oh yeah, man. I didn't know that this was Mental Health Awareness Month. And that's like I say, it's either a huge coincidence or it's just the energy of the universe that was speaking to me because I was going to speak on this like yesterday. I had no clue. So that's crazy how that kind of worked out. You understand? That part. Dome says people thinking seeking help is wrong or something. Exactly, man. It's like it's taboo, especially for us, bruh. Especially for us. It's like it's like we scared of how we gonna look from saying, listen, I've been having, some downtime in my life, and I just want to reach out. I want to speak to somebody. I'm trying to get myself back on track. I think where it starts is finding the words, right? It's like how do you put it? Just how do you get it off your chest? You got to find the courage in getting the words together. With me, even as a teenager, I understood, listen, I better talk to somebody because I might not be so lucky next time if I try to do something like this. It was a wake up for even myself because I'm like, like 17, 16 at the time. Like, I want to live. Of course, I want to live. Like, you know, deep down, I felt like that. But then when that feeling actually comes on, it's like, no, I don't want to live. Like, it's amazing how it can go from 0 to 1,000 so fast. You could be the happiest person in the world. No worries at all. But then that one wrong thought, maybe you seen something that came across the TV, maybe you heard somebody use a specific word that could just trigger you, and it could just cloud your all of a sudden your mind is just clouded with nothing but negativity, and it can be so hard to come back from, to the point where you just crying and you can't even control it. You can't even stop it. It's just something you got to go through, right? And the scariest part about it is you don't know when it's going to come on. You don't know what it's going to take to stop it. So for some of us, it's obvious, okay, yeah, I needed to speak to somebody. Huh? Keith says that's major facts. We definitely been through a lot and still, yeah, man. You know, everybody come from different walks of life, come from different cities, states, miles apart. You know, for example, we got this app right here, right? It's like a virtual watering hole where you meet people, see some of the same people that you already know. You know, we're all different in our own right, but at the end of the day, how different are we really? Because when we get off of here, you know, we tell people what we want people to know. The things that people don't know, you know, you just imagine. You understand? You don't know a person's real story until you sit down and talk to you. People would judge you out the gate. They don't know what you've been through. They don't know what made you the way you are. They don't know why you are the person you are today. You understand? What Angel Love say? How do you deal with seeking professional help only for your therapist to abandon you? And one of your main issues is fear of abandonment. Oh, that's... Hold on, y'all. Hold on. All right, I'm back, y'all. I'm back, y'all. Like I say, but I don't know. Let me read that question again, Angel. How do you deal with seeking professional help only for your therapist to abandon you? And one of your main issues, wow, is fear of abandonment. I don't know about that. Damn, that's a wild one right there. I don't know, Angel. Anybody got an answer for that? That's well, hopefully that person. My first question would be, how the hell that person even get a, you know, how are they even in a position to call themselves somebody that's out here to help other people if they could leave somebody hanging like that? That would be the first thing I would say. I'm missing some comments. Hold on. Keep saying exactly. You only know what others are willing to share on this app and other social media platforms, right? Don was answering Angel. He says, Angel, personally, I would find a new one. I haven't seen one since I was young. If I get one now, I'm just going to cry about bills. Don. Right. Yeah, that's a fact. Don, appreciate you. Appreciate you. You too, you too, you too. Did I miss anybody else, man? But ultimately, man, before I wrap this up, right? Seriously, it don't matter if you're a grown man or a grown woman. We all got our own story. Some people feel comfortable speaking about what they went through. Some people will only tell you a little bit. Some people don't want you in their damn business, which is, you know, especially like I say, for us, that's big. It's like I don't want these people up my damn business. You understand? But before I even knew it was Mental Health Awareness Month, there was something that was kind of like nagging me. Like I was having a conversation with somebody, and I was like, you know what? I think I'll speak about that. I have no embarrassment or anything speaking about that because I overcame it. I'm not saying I don't still have my moments today where I might feel, you know, but it's nothing. It doesn't even compare to the time I went through as a teenager. But that was just a completely different time in my life. And I definitely am lucky to still be here. I tell you that. God bless anybody who goes through it. If you know what I'm talking about, you know that feeling. You know it's not always easy to bounce back from that type of thing. What Keith said. Angel Love, that's a good question. I would definitely say get into shadow work. These studies are usually done by dealing with the inner self. Right, right, Keith. It's important to know yourself. It's important to, take time out for yourself, man. That got a lot to do with it. So it's good to talk your problems out. They got chat lines for it. Yeah. They definitely got chat lines for stuff like that. You know, I started to put one in the ticker at the bottom. Well, I'm glad to hear that, Angel. Seriously. You know, like I say, what it comes down to ultimately, we all different. You know, probably might not ever meet each other in real life. But if you're human, you know, we all bleed, we all cry, you know, we all have emotions. So we're not that much damn different. You know what I'm saying? How much different can you be if you can experience the same type of emotions? Right? I can understand that. Gary, what's going on, man? Appreciate you. I appreciate you. Definitely. Hey, Nene, what's going on? Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody. Tamika, you already know, appreciate you. I seen something in here. I can't see. Oh, Roy, what's going on, bro? Appreciate this chat moving. Appreciate you, fam. You already. You already. Yeah, this chat moving kind of fast now. But like I say, I don't have no issues with or no afterthoughts about speaking on this type of thing. My own experience. I'm a grown man that at one point in my life as a teenager, you know, it was just a hectic time. It was a dark time. You know what I'm saying? Those situations can make you or break you. I feel like it definitely made me. So when I get on here and I say every day is a blessing, like literally, even just sitting here right now live, as I'm looking at these seconds counting down, I'm at 37 and 11, 12 now 13. Even those few seconds right there of a difference, that's a blessing right there. You understand? Like going through those situations and coming out of them to be able to speak about them, that is a blessing right there all by itself. You understand? Angel, I pray that you find peace too. I've gone through the same situation. I've taken up community work and I feel I have a purpose. You know, definitely. Every second counts, Keith. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. But I just want to get up here and you know, and speak on that. You know, like it can take a lot of courage to get up here and put yourself out there like that. You know, but the way I look at it, for some people, everybody has dealt with it one way or another. For some people, it was you know, maybe it was self harm. For some people, you know, they just need to speak to somebody. For some people, it came and it went. They shook it off. For some people, it was worse than that. You know, there's some people who are dealing with it even today and have been dealing with it for years. You know what I mean? Does it make a difference if they say you're like, if you're diagnosed with having, you know, mental issues and emotional issues, or you're not diagnosed? Does that really make a difference? Like, how can a diagnosis really, you understand? Because I remember at the time I was going through it, I remember I was on like, I forgot what the name of those damn pills were. I forgot what the name of them were. I was supposed to take like two of them a day or whatever. I don't know if they just put it in your head that them things supposed to help you or not. But I was taking them. I'm like, let me make sure I take my pills so I don't get that thinking crazy. You understand? But honestly, I feel like that can go to a whole completely different direction on here. And I don't even know if YouTube is ready for that type of conversation. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. You understand? Oh, my bad, Rice. What's going on, man? Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Shout out to everybody who was listening. You know what I'm saying? maybe somehow, some way, somebody who's in the bushes or whatever that was listening can listen to me tell what I just told, and maybe they'll speak on their own story or whatever the case. I'm completely with keeping it to yourself. You know what I'm saying? I completely get it. I don't want nobody in my business. I ain't putting myself out there because this is as public can get when you get on an app and you speak on your experience. But like I say, I have no regrets about anything because I'm still here. You know what I'm saying? I learned from it. I feel like it definitely made me a better person. I appreciate life, I'll tell you that. Every day I get up, I'm thinking, I'm not even deep into religion, but I'm still thanking, you know, God for letting the sun shine on my face when I wake up. You know what I mean? You just never know. Every second, every second counting right now, that's a blessing right there. I don't, that's why my happiness is not dependent on like materialistic things or the things that make the average person happy don't make me happy. You understand? I'm appreciative of the fact that me waking up in the morning and I got 24 hours in the day, to make out of that day what I want to make out of it. That right there is enough for me. Whatever I choose to do, just thank you for letting me waking up to be able to have that opportunity is what I'm saying. Understand? Yeah, score. Atmosphere, what's up, man? Appreciate you. It's definitely about communicating, but be careful with who you speak with about your situation. Yeah, that's the thing, because there are, you got some evil fools, man. You got people that will take, your personal stuff, especially on this app specifically. You understand? It's a shame, but there are people out there like that, you know. But at the end of the day, I look at it like this too. They're the ones that got to live with that. That person spoke their truth. They spoke about a time where they wasn't so sure of or which way it was going to go. So for you to actually take this story and turn it into something to use against them, you got to live with that. You know, the one thing I wouldn't want to have is that on my conscience, that I made somebody feel like shit for speaking on a time when they felt like shit. Because that definitely makes you a piece of shit. Understand? That's why I don't want to get diagnosed because I don't trust medicine. I just fight my way through it. Yeah, I respect that, Angel. It was for me, it was new, it was completely new. I'm like, it was like, okay, if this is what this lady suggests, then I'm gonna roll with it. I'm gonna roll with these punches. You understand? But everybody has their own way. That's another thing. Everybody has their own way of dealing with this stuff, man. It's like taboo to speak about this type of stuff like in depth in the black community. You understand? Not trying to get on no psychology type tip or nothing like that. But how many of us actually speak to our friends and family about how depressed we feel? How many of us actually do that? Not say that nobody does, but I know I never have. You know what I'm saying? It was that one time where it was, it was so visible. I didn't even have to speak to nobody. I didn't have to go to somebody and tell them. You know what I'm saying? It was just so visible. It was like, wait a minute, what's going on? No, oh, hell no. We got to get you speaking to somebody. That's how visible it was. It couldn't be avoided. Don't say I had to figure out why I was so depressed. It's a mountain to climb for sure. Yeah. West say exactly. Got to stay clear of those individuals, but surround yourself with genuine people. Yeah. That's why I talk about energy all the time, Keith. Energy is so important with me, man. I feel like what you want, medication that, not that you really get better. Yeah. most want out of fear of ridicule, man. But yeah, man. You know, as tough as black folks is, right? From everything that we done dealt with, you know, and our history and culture and all of that, we still don't like to be made no damn fools in any situation. So we careful about the things we speak on, even without, you know, you could be married to a person. You might not want to tell them, yeah, I've been feeling depressed lately. Because it's all about the words, man. It's like getting the words together. Like, how do you say it to a person? It's like, you know, I'm not going to lie. Lately, I've been feeling down. I've been thinking about this, you know. It can get like a person can feel so drowned, right? In the in those negative thoughts that they can't even function on their job right. They got kids, they can't even take care of the kids right. You know, you got a whole house to clean up. You can't, you know what I'm saying? You got errands to run, you got things to do, but it affects you so bad. Just like you don't know, you really don't know if you're coming or going, and you can't shake it off. And it can strike at any time. It's a scary thing. You know, the only thing scary about how deep it can take you is how quick it can come on. Like that. You know? It's different for everybody. Different for everybody. But my main thing is this. We all know what it's like. Even if the next person went through it worse than the last person, we all know that it's real. It's nothing to be played with. Gary says so it's the strongest person that goes through the most, and people will think they're okay because they always help others. Right, Gary? That's a good point. I had a conversation about that same thing with somebody else. When you got the one person who's always seemingly okay and out to help everybody else, you know, everybody thinks that person got it figured out and down pat. So nobody stops to think, okay, well maybe they actually don't have it all figured out. Maybe they actually do need, you know, some of the energy they're putting into others to be returned to them. Maybe we should sit down and ask them, do they need something? Do they need an ear? Do they need a shoulder? Do they need somebody to talk to? Do they need something to be done for them? Right? I get what you're saying. Miss T says, Angel, I don't know if you take medicine already, but you can write down what you are feeling and look up a herb, but go to your doctor first to get. I love warm energy, makes me feel comfortable. Yeah, you know, I'm big on energy, fam. Like I'm so big on energy. Then you know, and I don't care where I'm at. You know, I can be anywhere in the world, but as long as the energy is still enough to where I can have zen in my own mind and I'm not disrupted in my own mind, in my own right of how I'm feeling, then it's all good. You understand? 702, appreciate you. Appreciate you. Gary says, Father God, we ask that you help Angel get through whatever is bothering her. Put her healing hands around her mind, soul, and body. Bring peace to her as she believes your report about her. Amen. And amen on that. And amen to any and everybody in here, in the bushes, or in the world right now that ever has gone through it or is going through it. You know, the last tip I'm going to leave off on, just never underestimate. You understand? You never know what a person is going through, man. You understand? Sometimes, like even some of the miserable, the most wicked people we come across, did it ever occur that maybe the reason they're acting out that way towards other people is because they're miserable, their life is wicked, right? That's the only way they can deliver. That's the only way they can deliver their energy is to be negative towards other people every day, every second of their life, right? And no, it's not an excuse to treat people like shit. You know, people who feel like shit and they feel like they ain't shit, they feel like their life ain't shit or whatever, you know, most likely they're gonna what? Treat people like ain't shit, right? And it's not an excuse, but I'm just saying everybody reacts to it different. You know what I mean? Bonds, appreciate you, fam. Appreciate you. And that's the thing right there. Just like Miss T told Age, you have people care about you. You never know who's willing to listen to you speak about what you're going through. I know the world can be like selfish and ignorant, but there are people, even if it's there's complete strangers you might not have ever thought, well, this person, they'll never sit here and listen to my problem, my sorrow. You know how people ask how you doing, what's going on with you? There are some people in the world who are actually willing to sit there and listen to you speak about your day, like how you're feeling, right? I remember one time, and this was the craziest shit. I was like, my mind was so gone. It was in the middle of the day, and I was coming from the store, I believe. I just had to like take a walk, and I just felt so down. I don't even remember what got me down this day. It was just one of those days where I just needed to kind of like, try to like get myself back in the whack. And there's this black girl was staring at me. I couldn't figure out why she was staring at me, fam. But when I got closer, I'm looking straight ahead. I'm like, this lady weird. She's looking at me all crazy. I'm walking, and she steps up to me, and she says to me, I'm trying to remember her exact words. She says something to the effect of, "It's gonna be okay. God hears you," or she said some words like that. Never met this woman a day in my life. Never seen her a day in my life. I don't even think I seen her after that. It was real weird. And I started thinking, did I just come across an angel or something like that? It might sound kind of crazy to some of y'all, but that's how crazy it was for me. I'm like, how did this lady know that I'm feeling down and out right now? How did she know that this is one of my down times right there? I never had that happen to me in my life that I can remember. Life is a trip, man. Life is a trip, you know? Hold on, there was something that Keith was saying that I'm trying to find. Hold on. Where was it? I think it was Keith that said it. These comments are just going so fast. Okay. Great session, brother Realest, and made a salute to the chat. I'm getting ready for work tonight. Yeah, I appreciate you, Keith. You know what I mean? Appreciate you for listening. Anybody that was listening, anybody who can relate to what I was saying, whether you was in the bushes, whether you stopped through and listened for a second, I'm about to wrap it up, but that's something that I wanted to take time to speak on. So when I found out it was mental health awareness month, I'm like, oh yeah, I got to speak on it now. That's the energy. That's the universe talking to me right there. It's the energy of the universe, talking to me right there. You never know who's listening to you. You know what I mean? You never really know. Not everybody's gonna leave a comment and say, "I hear you, brother. I hear you." But you never know who might have been listening at a time where maybe it was very vital. You understand? Alpha, appreciate you. I appreciate you. Angel says, Realist, I appreciate you for this topic. I'm glad I caught you because I had just walked in the house when this popped up. It's the voice on the Realist. I appreciate you, Angel. I appreciate you. Yeah, but shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to anybody who's ever dealt with mental, emotional, because it's not easy. It's not supposed to be easy. You know what I mean? And like I say, I know people don't like to speak on this type of thing. I can never feel ashamed for speaking my story. I can never feel a way about that. Because if I still made it, if I'm still alive to tell it, right? Then how can anybody make me feel a way about anything? You understand? But shout out to all y'all. Angie, baby, appreciate you. Shout out to everybody, man. You know? Um, no matter if you was in the bushes or not, peace and blessings, because every second really is a blessing. I say that as many chances as I get to throughout the day. You understand me? Every morning, every afternoon, every evening, you know what I mean? Come on, man. But I'm about to get up off of here, man. Again, I appreciate all y'all for taking time out to listen to Realest, you know. I may pop back up later on or whatever. But never be afraid to talk to somebody, because that's part of folks' problems now. Sometimes all it takes is that one conversation. Sometimes all you need is that one person to understand where you're coming from. You don't know how much you might actually have in common with a person until you actually have sit down and have a conversation with them. Don't judge them. You understand? Don't think you know this person. You know, understand them, figure out what this story is before you just figure you know this person. You understand? It's a sensitive topic. So I wouldn't be surprised if YouTube even erased this whole live the way they roll on here, you know? I wouldn't be surprised. But YouTube, this is just a story. If anything, this is just awareness. You can put it in that bag, you know, for the sake of mental health awareness month. This was a live dedicated to that. You understand? That's all it was. I don't wish it on anybody, because some people don't come back from it. For some people, it's just like a few minutes of a phase and they get right back to their regular life. But for some people, it gets so much darker than that, man. You know? Appreciate you, Alpha. Dome, everybody. Appreciate everybody, man. You know? Y'all support each other too. Check out everybody's channels and all of that stuff. You know what I mean? Some good people up in here. You know? Yeah, you too, Angel. I appreciate you. Hope everybody have a good Friday and stuff like that. Depending on how I'm feeling, I might come back later with you know, with the vamp vibes and all of that. But I appreciate everybody for popping in and showing, you know, love and understanding and not criticizing or ridiculing, you know, me for speaking on what I just spoke on. Because there are people that exist like that, not just on the app, not just on the internet, but in the world. You know what I mean? So shout out to everybody. Peace, love, blessings, and all of that. Realest, man, I'm out.